What's up, boss babies? Alibele sent over this really gorgeous wig. This is their packaging. For starters, it's an 18-inch water wave wig in the color natural. Now they send it over super nicely packaged. I've already had a peek at it, so I've taken out all of the stuffing and fillers around the hair that were protecting it. 3 combs in the front, 1 in the back, adjustable straps. Super nice. The wig has a nice, beautiful water wave texture. Here, this is what the back looks like. There are tracks sewn to a cap and then basically a frontal in the front. So I got the idea to do a highlight tutorial. This here shows you what it's going to look like from the starting to the end. On the left, you can see what color you start with to get the color on the right. Even though I seen this, I still felt like I could try and get something out of it. The color is light, I believe it's light ash brown or it's a dark ash brown. I'll leave it linked down below. All I needed was 1 box, and I was just hoping that I would be able to apply it in streaks around the hair just to warm up the hair and give it a nice, beautiful fall winter vibe. This little kit here, or this little piece here, actually is conditioner for after the fact, but I went ahead and mixed up the mixture. I'm going to begin the process of highlighting. I'm going to keep these clips in just to show you how I section the hair and just, you know, make my highlights. I feel like it's easier to highlight like water wave hair. Isn't that, look at that texture, such a gorgeous texture already without doing anything to it. But I feel like because the hair is already like in individual spiral curls because it's water wave, it was easy just to grab, you know, random sections throughout to add the color to. Whereas if the hair is straight, it may be a little bit, I won't say it's harder, but you're just kind of, you know, have to find places to, you know, lay the product without making it patchy or uneven or anything like that. I wanted to keep a dark root, and I wanted the rest of it to have a nice warm brown you know, color all throughout. Now, as I showed you the box clearly shows you starting from a lighter brown color to get the dark brown or blonde color. As you can see, I worked on this for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and I realized the previous hair that I had processed was not processing. It's not changing colors or anything like that. Normally if you add dye, you know, you can see where it's processed. So here I am. I mixed up my quick blue bleach and 50 volume developer. I made a nice consistency. It doesn't have to be thick or pancake batter like if you were bleaching knots. This can be a lot thinner, but I kind of want to keep it a little bit thick because I am applying the color with the wig pretty much standing up. I don't want it to be like wet and soupy and just dripping everywhere. So find a happy medium and a consistency that'll work for you. You really can't, I mean, you can make it too watery and you can make it too thick, but just kind of go in between. Like make it a little bit looser than you would at bleaching the knots. And this is the part where I finally seen the hair actually turning and processing. So I tried to go in spaces that I didn't already use the original box dye on, and just find random spaces and fill it in with the color. And I left it on. This pretty much is a glimpse of what it looked like when I was done. And then this is after maybe about 15 minutes of letting all of the color processed. And this is the final result. Now you're going to see a majority of the video I'm going to wear the hair wet. You can't really see the color as well when it's wet as you can when it dries. So of course once it completely dried, it looked amazing. But you can see here, this just gave me a nice warmth to the hair. It added a subtle beginner friendly highlight, you know. Not everybody really wants blonde, but of course sometimes you just want to add color and warmth, and this is still like work safe, school safe. If you're in high school, if you're a kid, this is not a color that is like too grown or anything like that. But the hairline was not pre-plucked, so I'm going in and I am plucking for dear life. You're gonna see at the end of this clip how much hair I plucked out to make it look a lot more natural. Also off camera, I added my elastic band. Here you can see I'm pretty much going bald. On the right side it's like going bald, and on the left side it's super dense, and that's just personal preference how I like mine. I like it to be super plucked in the front, kind of uneven. I did not bleach the knots, but I could have went ahead and bleached while I was processing the hair, but I chose not to. I'm just going to use powder to camouflage and tint the lace and all that greatness. So I am going in on the other side. I'm kind of using a combination of the pull method and just yanking out a bunch of individual strands of hair so I get the thinness that I like. And then I'm also going in with the tweezers to make sure that the hairline behind the baby hair does not look boxy. And sometimes I kind of use the hair from the baby hair as an anchor and just wrap my hand around it and just pluck and tweeze for dear life. At this point I was done. I didn't really show in depth, but if you guys want an in-depth tutorial on how I tweeze, I'll have one linked down below. After you've tweezed and plucked for dear life, go ahead and give the hair a nice brush, because a lot of times when you're tweezing backwards, the dead hair that you've pretty much ripped out of the lace is going to just sit in the remainder of the wig till you kind of brush it out. And as you guys can see, I took out a lot of hair. A lot. Off camera, I went ahead and sprayed down a thin layer of the Got To Be Glued Free Spray. You guys see this in all my videos. If you haven't watched my previous videos, go back literally to my last video and you'll see me doing this probably in the video before that, the video before that, and the video before that. So I decided to skip that step on this video. But you also know that I love the foam lotion as a method of melting or slaying my baby hair these days. So that's all I'm doing here. I like it when it's kind of uneven. The only thing is I did not make my elastic band super tight, and that is why my hairline does not look as flat as I wanted to. But other than that, the hair came out amazing. Also, I used wet on the hair for a styling product, and when it dries, it's going to look amazing. But the hair still is very nice. I feel like it didn't ruin the texture or anything because the hair is just highlighted and it's not the whole entire head that's bleached. I feel like those pieces that are dyed still are the same texture as those pieces that aren't. My only con to this wig is the parting space. They only give you about 2 inches of parting space. It stops right here. I know I did like twisties and cornrows in my last 2 videos, so I was not intending on doing that this time around. But I kind of felt like that was kind of a cheap way to elongate the parting, is to kind of do a twisty or a cornrow. In those videos where I did them, in my last video where I did it, you kind of couldn't see the parting all the way through. So I kind of felt like if I did the parting going backwards or the twisty going backwards, it kind of will give that same effect. And I think it does. Like if you aren't paying attention and you're like, oh, you know, she's just wearing a wig or whatever, like you won't pay attention to the fact that the wig parting space stops right here. You just assume that it just gets a little bit more dense and it's lost in the sauce. But otherwise, the hair is gorgeous. Again, it dyes well. The color came back. The texture came back. Everything is amazing with this one. Just if you are looking for a little bit of a little bit more parting space, this one is not going to have your back in that sense. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on some makeup and do some slow-mos with this hair. So hopefully you guys will see in the beginning of the video how the hair looks when it dries a little bit more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, I'll see you in the... What's up, guys? Today's video is going to come courtesy of Alibele. I'm going to jump right into the tutorial. We're going to actually head over to my kitchen for this one. I decided to do some brown highlight. I'm going to show you how I use a box dye, which was a fail. So I switched over to my BW bleach with a 50 volume developer to do a quick job of adding some nice warmth to this hair. Kind of subtle, but you know, it's gonna work to make the look a little bit more warm. This is definitely a look for beginners. A lot of us want to add color and highlights and different things like that, but we're scared to actually touch and play with the color. So being able to go in and add it when it's still, you know, a nice, normal, healthy, natural color kind of helps you to get over your fears of being able to bleach. So highlights are definitely a way of doing it, especially with wavy texture, where you can kind of go in and just add strips of color throughout. And because it's all curly and wavy, it all blends and mixes together. So I'm going to tell you how I do mine and show you my technique. Without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial for right after you hit that subscribe button. Now let's jump into the video.